Good morning, everybody. I am your grateful neighborhood addict named Connor, and this is today's daily reflection. May 23rd, Spiritual Health. When the spiritual malady is overcome, we straighten out mentally and physically. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 64. It is very difficult for me to come to terms with my spiritual illness because of my great pride, disguised by my material successes and my intellectual power. Intelligence is not incompatible with humility, provided I place humility first. To seek prestige and wealth is the ultimate goal for many in the modern world. To be fashionable and to seem better than I really am is a spiritual illness. To recognize and to admit my weaknesses is the beginning of good spiritual health. It is a sign of spiritual health to be able to ask God every day to enlighten me, to recognize His will, and to have the strength to execute it. My spiritual health is excellent when I realize that the better I get, the more I discover how much help I need from others. Hey guys, so for my spiritual health, I do a couple of things. One is every morning when I wake up, I say, "Good morning, Lord. I love you. Thank you for another day of life." And I do that because I know it makes Him happy. And then I give Him the first fruits of my day for about an hour, and then He stretches the remaining 23 hours in the day. Have you guys ever noticed when you get up early and you seem to get more things done and there just seems to be more time in the day? That's the same stretching concept. And I do all this before sunrise because He told me that that's when He speaks, is in the stillness before the sun comes up. And in Scripture, God defines wealth primarily as spiritual richness and contentment rather than just material accumulation. It is the freedom to live generously, coupled with a deep, trusting relationship with the Creator. So spiritual riches are defined as true wealth is being measured by being rich in faith and knowing the love of Christ. And contentment and peace is defined as wealth is having your daily needs met without anxiety, accompanied by the blessings of the Lord, which adds no sorrow. So from what I understand about how God views wealth, at least in my experience, is love and peace, and blessings. Whether, that is the love of your family, the love of friends. And when it comes to blessings, don't be afraid to ask for the big things. Maybe not so much a Lamborghini because he's, not a genie, or he doesn't wave a magic wand. But He does love you, and He wants to bless you, and He chooses to bless you simply because He loves you. And as for intelligence and humility, this is something that Jordan Peterson talks about as well. He basically says, look, you can have an IQ of 145, but you had better be on your knees in gratitude that God gave you that gift, because if you allow it to take control, you are essentially in the grasp of the most dangerous, destructive force. Because don't forget, that's what got Satan, primarily pride of the intellect, right? It's not good. And something else he talks about is that there's zero relationship between intelligence and wisdom. And I think that's in part because humility is the essential building block of wisdom. And without humility, there can be no wisdom. And the temptation of the intellect, I think, is to err on the side of pride. It takes conscious effort to have both intellect and humility. But I'll tell you what, I like having wisdom. It sure seems to make life a hell of a lot more manageable. And that's one reason I go to meetings, because there's a lot of wisdom in those rooms. And also, God opposes pride and gives favor to the humble. This is in part embedded in the archetypal hero story, where the good guy always wins. Have you guys ever noticed that? Right? Like, when was the last time you went to see a movie and the bad guy won, right? It does happen, very rarely, but it does. But that's because it's more than a theme. It's covenantal with God in the eternal fight of good versus evil. So it's a reflection of that spiritual law and nature. Thank you so much for listening today and for allowing me to be a part of your journey. I am your grateful neighborhood addict named Connor, and I'm wishing you another day gratefully sober. Until tomorrow.